can't make a story.
Hey, I know you. I'll dream about you. I love you.
So the script.
Have you ever been addicted to a person? Have you ever been addicted to a person? The reason I brought you down here is because I have to let you know you're safe with me. I'll dream about you.
So what was the beginning of this process like for you? How did you start out?
I had a personal experience that blew up my life, so to speak, and from that experience, I just had nothing else to do but express it artistically, and that's what became my feature film.
What happened, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't really believe in love in the way most people do, as far as like, I'm a deconstructionist, so like falling in love is not something I've been really interested in. I feel like it's chemicals, biological procreative drive, and projections on another person. And I never really had experienced what it feels like to fall in love, and I'm a little late bloomer, and so I finally fell in love, and I fell really hard, and it was the most intense experience of my life. I mean, and I've had a lot of intense experiences. I've lived a wild life, and so it blew my mind. I was high. It was like I was on drugs for an extended period of time. And so when that left, I saw that it was impossible to be together, all that pain that came from that, it just got channeled into the script. I would say it's an exploration of the mythos of both falling in love and the mythos of following your muse and how those intersect.
And it's a non-linear
Yes.
plot structure.
Yeah, it's written in a non-conventional narrative structure. I would say it's most likened to double narrative flashback. That's a term coined by Linda Aronson. She's a screenwriter and teacher, and yeah, it kind of gives the film a multi-layered and Riddle-esque, Escher-esque quality.
Like MC Escher.
Yes.
Yes, the hand drawing itself.
Yes.
And you were speaking earlier about how the production of the film influenced the film itself, kind of
Yeah.
in that way.
Yeah, I use a particular style of filmmaking called process-oriented filmmaking, which goes beyond dialogical improv and actually takes what is happening, all the interpersonal dynamics that are happening between the actors, and draws upon them to create not only the dialogue but also the story direction. So parts of the story arose in the making of the film, so there's a real conflation of reality and art, fact and fiction.
What is your experience like when you're making the film with that as your process?
One of my main actors, Benjamin Farmer, and I was acting in it as well, and we were acting across from each other, and the main, that style was used mainly in our storyline. The other one was pretty fully scripted. So there's one storyline that was fully scripted, and then this other main storyline that uses process, and also some subplots that use this process as well. And so for the actor, I mean, he's already acting with the director. That's pretty scary.
Right.
And I'm, frightened because I'm, the director, and I have to be vulnerable. And as a director, you try to stay in control. As an actor, you need to relent control and release control. And so add to that the fact that we're actually drawing upon real dynamics between us in the moment. Well, that's just like, you're really vulnerable and also really alive, and you see what comes through.
You're really vulnerable and alive. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I love the combination
Yeah.
of those two things.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the example of how the process-oriented thing would occur, like on set?
Well, when you're on set, there's all these interpersonal dynamics that happen, and instead of just like, ignoring those, like that's behind the scenes stuff, sometimes we'll take them and say, this is going to become a part of it, we're going to bring this into the story, or between he and I, as we talk, we kind of find, what's happening, what's coming up for you, and then we sort of draw upon that to create like a plot point in the script.
So if there's tension between actors, you capitalize on that and make tension
Yeah, there's
between characters?
Yeah, or like even things that happen behind the scenes kind of can get drawn into the plot. And also, you know, there's all these archetypes that happen and subterranean stuff that we don't pay attention to just as we're speaking to one another in our everyday lives. And so it's like instead of kind of like keeping that repressed and under the surface, we allow it to come out and inform our connection and how it goes and where it goes.
Wow, that's gonna make for a very interesting film.
I think the film is interesting, and I think it's a very outside the box film. The part of actually keeping people on the edge of their seats or really engaged in the story, I was really committed to that. And I feel like it did accomplish that as well, which makes me happy.